Hello and welcome to The Drum. I'm Steve Cannane. Coming up, what the CIA really thinks of Pakistan, why President Obama won't release photos of bin Laden's corpse, and is Australia's voting system as disastrous as David Cameron makes out? Our panel tonight, author Jessica Rudd, Tim Wilson from the Institute of Public Affairs, and BBC Sydney correspondent Nick Bryant. Well, relations between Washington and Islamabad are at a new low amid revelations that Osama bin Laden may have thought he was under the protection of Pakistan. America's intelligence chief has told members of Congress that the al-Qaeda founder had a big wad of cash and telephone numbers sewn into his clothing, a sign that he was ready to run if he was tipped off about a US raid. CIA Director Leon Panetta said bin Laden believed he'd get a heads up and the Pakistanis were either involved or incompetent. Pakistan's Prime Minister was trying to share the blame around, saying his country is part of the solution, not the problem.
Certainly, we have intelligence sharing with the rest of the world, including United States. So if somebody points out that there is some of the lapses from Pakistan's side, that means it's the lapses from the whole world.
But Pakistan's ambassador to the US has admitted it looks like a failure by his country's intelligence agencies.
I'm told is we just dropped the ball. And there is going to be an inquiry of sorts. There will be we will get to the bottom of it. How did it happen? But the most important concern here right now is to reassure people in the United States that Pakistan and Pakistanis as a nation did not look upon Osama bin Laden favorably, and that's very important.
No. Nick, you ended up covering the hunt for bin Laden in one of your previous postings. You ended up being in Afghanistan for a while. What do you make of Leon Panetta's comments? Quite strong words, either involved or incompetent.
Yeah, very strong from Leon Panetta. But to be honest, the Americans have thought the Pakistanis were playing a double game from the very off. They gave them this ultimatum on September the 12th. You're with us or against us. And from that moment on, they've never been quite sure which side Pakistan is fully on. I mean, 9 days after 9/11, Pervez Musharraf delivered a nationwide address to the Pakistani people. He said, we can capture bin Laden, but at the same time we can keep the Taliban in power. Obviously the Pakistanis had sponsored the Taliban initially because they wanted a pro-Islamic government in Kabul run the pro-Delhi government. That, for the Americans, was an example of their double game. Sheikh Khalid Mohammed, who was the mastermind of 9/11, arrested in Rawalpindi, the garrison city itself. That was proof of their support. But again, they were turning a blind eye to Islamic groups like Lashkar-e-Toiba and actively supported them from parts of the intelligence services, again, part of the double game. So there's always been this accusation. Americans have often felt their money that was supposed to go to fighting the war on terror was being diverted to bolstering Pakistan's defences against India.
And that's been over $1 billion a year, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge amount of money. And again, it's part of this double game. So America has always been suspicious of Pakistan's motives, and these drone strikes that we've been seeing in recent months that have been targeting al-Qaeda's leadership and the Taliban's leadership in places like Waziristan. Again, they were giving the Pakistan authorities no heads up, and clearly they decided not to do so in this instance as well. And it seems they used these stealth helicopters so they could also evade Pakistan's air defences and their radar as well.
Do you think it's going to be harder to sustain the relationship now?
Oh, it's going to be very difficult. And there was always a suspicion that one of the reasons why Pakistan hadn't done more to actually flush out bin Laden was because they kind of enjoyed playing this double game, or they were comfortable playing this double game. And there was this fear that once bin Laden was found, then America's financial support for the Pakistan military would dry up. So that was one factor that a lot of people in Washington thought was perhaps thwarting the hunt for bin Laden. And it's extraordinary that he was found so close to Islamabad. And the idea that the Pakistan intelligence services were unaware of his presence there will strike many people in Washington as slightly fantastical.
And Tim, I imagine in Washington the Republicans are they're looking to drop down the debt. This may be an area where they may want to pull some of the money out.
Well, I don't think you can take anything off the agenda of the Republicans in wanting to slash the US government debt at the moment. But it does paint a really difficult picture for Pakistan, because whether they're involved or incompetent or incompetently involved, either way they've got this